So when was the last time you've gotten triggered? When was the last time you felt offended? And when was the last time you felt vulnerable? Vulnerability is looked down upon most of the times, but in order for you to find your inner strength, you want to be vulnerable. Being vulnerable is a great way of opening up the door for the right people to come into your circle. See, you may have people in your life that you don't feel like you want to be vulnerable with because you know what their response is going to be. Vulnerability is not a weakness, it's actually a strength because you're showing your true, authentic self. If you feel triggered by how someone is talking to you, how someone is making you feel, you have to really sit down with yourself. And I do this quite often. Trust and believe. I didn't grow up embracing my vulnerability. I grew up in a really tough household where my family is filled with a lot of tough and hard people. So the generation that came after them, some of them are a little tough, but most of us, we love to speak up and show our vulnerable side. And that does grind some gears, but hey, who cares? That's what we all need to do. That's how we all should be. But you may not have the space to be vulnerable. One of the spaces that I am able to really be my most vulnerable self is through therapy. I really like BetterHelp because they give you the option to choose if you want a female or a male. If you are a Christian, you can pick someone specifically in that area. That way they can send you scriptures, they can talk about God. And if you're not a Christian, then I'm sure there's other options that you can choose from. But one thing's for sure, I look forward to talking to my therapist every single week. It's almost like hanging out with my girlfriends. Except for there's not a stock of feelings invested in this therapist. I actually had a therapist session today and it was so refreshing. I would say this, every session that you have won't be the same. Sometimes you're going to feel refreshed. Sometimes you might be frustrated because you have to deal with yourself. But don't walk into therapy like, oh, well, I don't know them, so why am I going to talk to them? And, do they really know what they're talking about? And don't do that. The best way to get the most out of therapy is by being vulnerable. Because you're going to show your true, authentic self. Why go into therapy being someone that you're not, and your therapist being so polite trying to figure you out? That's not cool. And they're making the money, and you're spending your money, so don't waste it. Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind, because this is your life. We cannot play around with your life. To receive 2 weeks free of therapy, click the link below to BetterHelp, and I'm telling you, you will be so happy that you did. And just know this, picking a therapist is like trying on a pair of shoes. The first therapist that I had with BetterHelp, I really liked him. I really did like him. But our schedules conflicted, and it was kind of bittersweet, but I had to move on because I knew that he was good, but God had something even better. And honey, I am enjoying this lady. She is phenomenal. She get me together fast. I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing today. And guess what? She gets me together each and every session. But she also let me know, like, hey, Mariah, I am on your team. I'm on your team. I'm on your side. Just want to let you know that. And when I get off track, she pull me right back in. because it's so much on my mind, honey. I can just be over here and be over there, and it can be a little uncomfortable when you are laying out your life, trying to find the solutions. And the longer you wait, the more that you have to heal from. And that's okay. But at least you will start somewhere. Before you start your therapy session, really dig deep and ask God, ask the Holy Spirit to show you what you need to talk about. And I'm sure that will help. Another way how you can embrace your vulnerability is by making sure that you do not get taken advantage of. Take a deep breath before you speak. Think before you speak. People will show you who they really are when you are vulnerable. Every single time that I hear someone complaining about a relationship, and I'm not just talking about relationships, but other relationships as well. Friendships, relationships in the workplace, relationships within your family. Every time I hear that somebody is in a vulnerable moment, a vulnerable state, something has happened, people really show up and show who they really are. Why is that? I really wonder. Why is that? So, the reason why it's so important to embrace your vulnerability. When you show your vulnerable side, stay strong. And just wait to see the response of others. If they show you who they really are, it might be a friend that's like, you know what, this is too much. You're dealing with a lot. I just can't handle that. But then in your mind, you're like, well, I've been here for you when this happened. And when you dealt with that guy and this situation, I was there for you. But I'm going to tell you this. Don't have any animosity towards them. Don't feel bitter towards them. Just pray for them and gracefully move on. One thing that is not attractive is a talker. Someone who just talks and say they will do this and that and the other. That's a really big turnoff. If you're going to be there for someone, be genuine about it. If you cannot be there for someone, keep it real. But if you are on the receiving end and someone is telling you that they're going to do something for you, don't believe it until they do it. Now, don't abuse vulnerability. Don't abuse vulnerability because you do not want to plant those type of seeds. But it is really essential to embrace your vulnerability because that is one of your strengths. To really see if people are really supposed to be in your circle. And you can have everything. You can have it all together, right? And you're like, well, how would I be vulnerable? I have it all together. Trust and believe, you have vulnerable moments. Everybody has vulnerable moments. It's up to you whether or not you go and hide and you deal with it by yourself, or you pick up the phone and a person say, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. I'm good. Really, you're not. You pick up the phone like, yeah, I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm good. How are you, girl? Oh, yeah, I'm good. Hey, honey. Or, oh, I'm good. What's up? You know, depending on who you're talking to. But really, you're not doing good. If you just keep it real and say, you know what? I'm not doing too well. I'm really hurt by a situation that I won't go in detail about, but this is how I'm feeling. If that person's response is, well, how can I make you feel better? What can I do to make your situation better? That's what's up. Those are the type of people that you want in your life. As long as they don't have a hidden agenda. You have to pace yourself. Because we are living in the last days. And unfortunately, a lot of people have hidden agendas. You have to go to God in prayer. That's so important. I have 7 ways how you can show vulnerability. So, like before, what I was saying about, picking up the phone and really expressing how you feel. So, vocalizing your feelings is a way to show vulnerability. And the more that you practice doing this, the more that it will feel normal. And you will stand out from other people like, wow, this person is okay with expressing how they feel. Like this is not normal. This person that actually is a trait of being confident. Like, you know what? I really like you. Or you know what? Maybe you approach someone that you don't know. And you're just like, I really appreciate the work that you're doing for the community. It has really inspired me to go further in scaling my company, my business, my nonprofit, and XYZ. Another way, be in the moment. I know sometimes it can be really hard if you are busy or you just going through life, like you're just lifing, right? And sometimes it's hard to be in the moment, but just take a deep breath and be in a moment. Another way is be forthcoming with your needs. I know this is one thing that I have struggled with because of the way that I grew up. The more that I practice this, the better I became. Like, I have no issue being forthcoming in the things that I want. Okay? Another one, approach people you don't know. Go out somewhere to a restaurant, even when you're at the grocery store, maybe you're at church or you're volunteering. Approach someone that you don't know. Go sit at a table with people you don't know. You'll be surprised who you meet. And you know what? It may get weird. So just kindly excuse yourself. There's other people in the room that you can talk to. You have to just feel the vibe. And really, you know what? Take that back. Because even a vibe can be a lie. You have to pray for the gift of discernment. When you have the gift of discernment, you can just, it's like a whole nother level of high emotional intelligence. Another way you can show vulnerability is by holding yourself accountable and simply apologizing without saying, well, but you. Just simply apologize and then nod your head, smile, or even ask for a response. How do you feel about what I said? Finding understanding, especially if you're building relationships, okay? And that person meant good to you. Another way of how to be vulnerable, if you are a parent or you want to be a parent, show your emotions in front of your little ones. And don't just show them, but explain to them in that very moment what's going on and how you feel. Your little ones are watching you anyway, and they are paying really close attention to your response. How you respond is very important. And this is the last one, but I want to say this before I go. Don't leave yet. Before I go, I want to say this. If you feel yourself getting so frustrated because of what someone else said, what someone else done to you, what they're doing to this other person, you really need to sit down with yourself and ask, why am I getting so frustrated? Until we pass the test, we cannot move on to the next test. And with the next test is the next level in life. If it's not for you, it will be hard. It will be way, way too difficult. Almost to the point it's just impossible. Okay? You want to pray to God and ask Him, is this for me? Because if it's not, then remove it. Some of us try so hard to work things out with situations, with relationships, that we should have been let go. All it's doing is causing anxiety in your life. It's causing you to not be able to focus. It's hurting your feelings. You're crying at night. You're sitting back wondering how you can make this better when you are the only person that's trying to make it better. God does the impossible. But God does the impossible, and we have to really listen to the Holy Spirit. You being vulnerable should not make you feel all out of whack. You being vulnerable should not give a person permission to make you feel worse than what you already feel. You being vulnerable should simply show you that you are being authentic, you are being yourself, you're being human, you're not robotic. And if people can't appreciate that and they can't see that, then those are not the people you're supposed to be around. There's going to be people that you cannot change, that are just going to be superficial, that are just going to be narcissists, that are just going to be selfish. They are going to change you before they even change themselves. And they probably will never change themselves because they're going to look at you like you need to conform to who I am. That's narcissist behavior. You need to conform to my rules. You are the one to blame. No, you are being too soft. You're being too vulnerable. Just shut up and just be, because we're all dealing with it. These are the type of people that will not get any help. But I pray to God that they do get the help they need. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand in therapy with one of my exes. The material was right there. Still disagreed. So I had to depart and I prayed for them. I don't know what they're up to, but God bless them. Because I've moved on. That's a non-negotiable for me in a relationship. Growth, healing, therapy. If you're not interested, then you're not interested in me. Because if you're interested in me, then you're going to be interested in the healthy side of me, the whole side of me, the side that God has created to keep me where I need to be sane, to be healthy, to be happy, to be joyful, to keep growing. I'm not here to save anyone. I'm not here to heal anyone. Only Jesus can do that. I can give you the word, I can give you some advice, and then I can lead you right to therapy. And if you need any advice, click my Wisio page, and I can give you a specialized, personalized answer. If you need a prayer, I am giving free prayers, of course. Scroll all the way down. Your time is valuable. Don't approach a situation like you just got it all together, especially a relationship. Like, you may have it all together, but show some vulnerability. Because if you don't have any vulnerability in any of your relationships, it's only going to be surface level. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please like this video and share it with someone that you love. Hit the notification bell. I upload 2 videos every week on Wednesday and Friday. I may change the times. Wednesday at 12 o'clock, and then Friday I did move it to 3 o'clock to 3 p.m. But if you press the notification bell, you will be alerted when the video will be premiering. Follow me on Instagram at Mariah_Lovemore and on TikTok at Mariah Lovemore. And until next time, see ya.